Hello, my name is Dean Barker, and my producer for this video is Christina Martinez, and we're showing how you can take and make a quick face mask using materials that you might commonly have in your home. We're going to use some handkerchiefs here that we have, but you can also use say a scarf or just something, a piece of cloth that you can cut in a square shape like this. And what you start out with was this in a square shape, and we're going to take and fold it into a triangle, and then we're going to take and measure it so you can get the right length of where to place the buttons. But let's review on what you need for other materials. You'll also need both some buttons. These are approximately about 18 to 20 millimeters, or approximately 5/8 to 3/4 of an inch. And it really helps for it to have a little bit of a bump like this on the back side so that it will have clearance for using a common hair tie to loop behind it. And we'll also take both a needle and thread. If you can find it and it's available, either polyester or nylon thread would be best for durability, but cotton will also work, and it will do just fine. And again, just common hair ties, and nothing complicated or difficult or anything there for that of the thread. And you'll also need either a pencil or a pen to mark the location for the buttons. Now then, for the location for the buttons, you will need to take the handkerchief, or your new mask material is what I should call this, and move it over and bring it across where it needs to be here. Now then, while you're holding it, bring it back over, set it down, don't lose your position for where that's at, and mark your spot for your button. Then come back and remeasure here again to get the spot for the second button. And now that you've got it folded in half and you've got your button, you may now start with putting this through of your first thread going through and onto your button. Now you'll need to stitch these several times through each one of the buttonholes. I normally do these about 5 times on each set of buttonholes. This is 4 buttonholes in this, but you don't have to have 4. You can do this with a button that has just 2 holes in it. Okay, this should be the 5th pass through there. Okay. Yes. It's so amazing how these skills that Mother insisted that I know how to do are now being actually put to use of something valuable. My mother insisted that when I was in my early teens that I know how to take and use a needle and thread to fix buttons. Somehow it seemed to involve the fact that I tend to destroy a lot of buttons, and Mother got really angry about me breaking different stuff involving buttons on clothing. So she felt like it was a good idea if I was going to have that problem to know how to take and stitch something back on. Yes, this is kind of a little on the tedious side to do this like this. I'm sure someone out there with an actual automated nice sewing machine that has a button attachment on this would make this look so much quicker and simple, but again, not everybody has a sewing machine, so needle and thread is a lot of times a lot easier to come up with than an entire sewing machine. But again, okay, and then time to tie this one off. Which means now what I do is stitch this through on the back side here, the button, and come out real close to where all the threads are coming through. Because this is part of the stuff that you need to do to make sure this ties off and it stays good and solid and doesn't come loose. 2, 3, 4, 5 times around underneath the button. This goes underneath the button, and then to tie it off you'll simply do a clove hitch. So I'll loop this around, loop that in, pull it down tight, loop it around, stitch it through there like this, and pull it tight, and loop it around and stitch it in and pull it tight. You need to do it at least about 3 times so that way that won't come loose. Then come back here and snip that off. And we have one button on. Now I have to get more thread onto the needle. I know a lot of people would do this so that this is a much longer thing of thread, but I tend to have a problem with it getting all tangled up when I have a long thread, so I just settle for re-threading the needle on a regular basis to get it exactly how I want it. Okay. And just as we did before, we've gone back to where we've made the little mark. We're going to stitch this through there so that way we know exactly where we're wanting to get that button, and the button is exactly where we want it to be when we put it on here. Push this through, capture this thread here like this, and we're off to the races stitching again. to the other set of holes. 1, 2, 5. Alright, that should be good and solid. Now then to tie this off, over here and through underneath on the bottom side of this. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then now to do the knot, again, these are just a simple clove hitch. Very simple, not anything complicated. There's 1. Do it again. Oh, Grandma used to make this look so easy. She would just whip these things around here and it'd be like, whip, 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 done. And I'm sitting here, I'm going to be lucky I don't have blood all over everything. 2. 3. Alright, very good. Just got to clip off the excess thread there. Now then, there we go. Now, oops. And there you have it. Are we good? Now then, just in case one is not enough, you can use more than just one. All you have to do is loop them together, just like this, and it will form a little square knot. That can get you this long, or you can even loop them together and have even more if you need to. Whatever it takes to get the correct length so this stays nice and tight here to your face and you don't have any leaks going around any of this portion of your face.